Right, welcome back, and it's 6 minutes past noon. We have a lot in this hour, including business and sports. But first, 4 people are confirmed dead in a raging fire that swept across Kijiji area, that's opposite Southlands in Langata, yesterday night. Deputy Director, National Disaster Management Unit, Pius Masai, says the bodies were recovered this morning. We've been following up this story, and earlier on, the area leaders, including the local MP, had a press conference on the same. This is part of that press conference.
The fire is off now. The fire fighting equipment, wananchi themselves were able to put out the fire at about 2 p.m. So during this incident, we have confirmed that 4 people lost their lives. As at now, 4 people have lost their lives. The search to find out if there are other bodies in the rubble, then we'll communicate to you. But we were able to evacuate everyone, almost all the people, before the settlement was engulfed in fire. It was very, very difficult to put off the fire because of the nature of the settlement. There were no access roads around the entire place. This slum or this informal settlement carries about 9,000 households. So 2/3 of it was destroyed by fire, which means with a population of between 13,000 14,000 people. So we are trying to do our best as government. We already have a command center. This command center will be the one responsible for data collections of victims, assessing what is needed, because I think what we require now is the most basics. Right? Shelter, food, where we are going to put these people for a while, and of course, the foods, food. People must eat food. Some of them have not eaten food since morning. So we are working on that with the county government, because disaster is a shared function between national government and the county government. So we are going to see what are what is the quickest way of mitigating the impact of this disaster. So please give us time. The cause of fire is still under investigation. So I will not be able to tell you, this or that was the cause of fire. But we have been experiencing the fires in the slums in the past. Some of them are caused by human errors. Somebody leaving, a candle in the house. Somebody leaving a water heater, unattended, or much of it is accidental. So I want to give my other colleagues, including Mheshimiwa, to make their own remarks, and if there are going to be any questions, we'll be ready to answer. So let me start with the area MCA.
Well, members of the press, my name is Jared Akama Ondieki. I'm the area MCA, that is Mugmuina Ward in Langata constituency. First, we lack words to express this disaster, because what has happened has never happened before in this area. We've lost lives. At the same time, we have over 6,000 people affected as we speak. But you see, at times it's very important to point out mistakes so that they are not repeated again. I, as the MCA of the area, have already recorded that I'm dissatisfied by the way we responded to this disaster. So the governor has taken note and is going to act. But most importantly, what has happened, and we want to stand with our fellow, people in the Kijiji who have been affected. That as the leadership of Langata, we are going to stand with them to the last minute. So we are appealing from across for any support. We have pregnant women, we have children, we have disabled who are affected. And by the magnitude of the disaster, it will need that we join hands to make sure that we support the affected. And therefore, we are appealing to the world, we are appealing to everyone across who has any support to come and support our people. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I think we should move and then we give the disaster team
to
make their final remarks.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, members of the press. My name is Nixon Korir. I'm the area MP, and I just arrived from Mombasa, where we had a committee induction meeting, and we've been in touch with the team on the ground from yesterday when this fire started. And of course, whatever happened is unfortunate, and we are really sorry to the families and friends of the lost ones, and also for the families that have been affected by this incident. But just fast forward, because just like the RC has said, we are still investigating the cause of the fire, and also just like the MC has said, we are equally disappointed by the reaction from the firefighting department, and because these are things that we should be prepared for, and they are prone to happen. We should be ready for it. But now, I think what we are dealing with right now is around almost 5,000, 6,000 families that have been affected by this fire. I've just been briefed by the RC on some of the ways that we need to deal. Urgently, we need food for the children and the mothers that have not eaten since yesterday. We need to fix that, and we are working on it right now to ensure that at least we get some milk, some bread, at least to sustain them as we appeal for more support from the county government and the national government. We need clothing, we need a medical camp around, we need toilet facilities around, but that's what we're working on right now, on priority items that we need so that we can be able to settle these families first to be comfortable with the basic needs that they need. But moving forward, it's a thing that we need to look at. Just in July last year, we had a similar incident in Kuwinda, and the firefighting equipment took 3 hours before they could arrive. And when they arrived, just like it was in Kijiji, there was no water. I mean, it's a serious thing, and I hope the people responsible for that department are sitting right now planning on how we can have better facilities and better training, not planning to buy blankets and iron sheets, because it is something that can be protected, can be stopped. That it's something that can be, if we have a proper working force and a proper equipment, then it is something that we can stop it. But basically, I want to appeal to all the members of the public listening to me that we have a situation here that really need a lot of support. Any stakeholder and any member of the public there that has an extra cloth, that has an extra pair of shoe, that has an extra food. Some extra food. We have a camp right now in Gay Primary School, and we really appreciate any support from them. And water. We have so many children that are affected right now. But moving forward, we'll also. I've talked to the Deputy President when I was on the way from Mombasa, and we are committed to ensuring that we rebuild the lives of the people that have been affected. That we will assist them to rebuild their lives and build their houses in Kijiji so that they can get to continue their lives. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
No. When the incident happened yesterday, I was in Mombasa, so I took the first flight today, just right from Mombasa. No. Yes. Thank you.
Can we give that? Thank you, Mheshimiwa. Can we give the NDOC, Mr. Masai, to make his brief remarks?
Thank you so much. Is the land public utility land or a private land?
1 minute. Let's finish with the NDOC. Then you have your questions, please. Then we can answer that later.
RC Nairobi, all protocol observed. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, sir, you've said everything, and it's unfortunate incident that you have been told we have lost a total of 4 people in this incident, and we don't know how many people are still in the debris. As you have been told, search and rescue operation, search and recovery operation is still ongoing and can only be ascertained when all debris have been turned around. And I appeal through the owners of the informal settlement shelters, in that whatever they notice anything, it may appear like a charcoal, like a stamp band. Please don't do anything on that. Just report the command post here, which you have put here in front of Ngei Primary School, whereby we have a team of forensic investigators. They'll go and ascertain whether that is a human being or not, so that they can collect samples as required. And as you are aware that this incident has affected populations that you have been told almost 6,000 households, which runs to many thousands of people, we still require support from anyone who has something to offer. Let him bring to the command post here. We have set structures in place in that the families who are here, they are going through tracing and identification to ensure that you get the genuine people. It may take some time, but we are avoiding an incident. We have done this one before. People coming to say they are victims, then they get what they should not have got, while the real people suffering. So the Kenya Red Cross, they're working in consultation with the administrators here, the local populations, that means the politicians who are here. They identify the right families. Once they have been documented, any assistance that you bring here through the RC office and management and the county government, which is available here, they'll be given all that you will bring. What I'm appealing also to the young boys within this estate, you have given us a lot of space since yesterday to operate. Kindly, we still appeal for the same. If people see that you are uncooperative, you are denying media to do what they are supposed to do. Like yesterday, I saw some people denying media to cover, while there are people media lighting people to come and support. That's wrong. So no one is allowed to collect money on any other person, allowing the person to come to the instant site. You are allowed to come, approach the command post. You have put structures. You will be given a space to say what you want to say and to give us what you have, and we will ensure that it goes to the right people. Otherwise, if you have also nothing to do around this area, please keep off and allow the respective authorities. Like in the instant site, we still have investigations by the National Police Service, investigation by the Fire Department from the county government. We still have also the National Building Inspectorate, National Construction Authority, all those bodies that are doing the specific investigation. So please keep off and don't interfere. And one thing, if you have got any information about a missing person, there is a tracing table also near the command post. Tell us whom you are looking for. Otherwise, for the people whom we found, we cannot tell you the names until investigation be done to find who is who. There are people trying to give names, suggesting. Don't suggest any name of anyone unless you have got reason to suggest so you can come and see us as a command post, give us a suggestion of the name that you are saying, but through investigation it will be known who is that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So far, tunasema hatuwezi kujua ni watu wangapi wajulikani waliko, kwa sababu tumepeana nafasi ya watu kupeana pale majina. Tutawafahamisha yale majina ikifika pale nani anasemekana amepotea. Lakini kwa sasa vile tumesema na imetangazwa na RC, ni watu 4 ambao mili zao tushazipata, lakini hatuwezi kusema majina yao ni fulani ama fulani, lakini uchunguzi unaendelea. Tutaweza kujua through this investigation. Na tunasema hivi, tunaomba wale watu hawana kazi ya kufanya hapa, wao tupe nafasi, na vijana wale wako hapa. Kuna watu wamelalamika, kuna vijana wachache sana wanajaribu kuwa wasumbufu. Mwaweleze kwamba wa cooperate, walau hizi cameras, walau misaada sikuje, ndio wananchi wajue hapa mahali kuna watu saiti ama karibu family 6,000 wanaomba msaada. Na hapa Ngei Primary School kuna command post ambayo tumeweka mambo yote ambayo inahusika na incident management kushughulikia wale wote ambao wameathiriwa. Na ile vitu tunaitisha vyakula vya aina zote. Ukileta vyakula hapa utapeana, ukileta mattresses, ukileta nguo, blankets, vyote. Unajua nyumba ikichomeka umechomekewa na kila kitu. Na mama watoto wamelala kwa baridi kwa hii shule hapa hivi. Naomba pia tents, kwa sababu hatutaki kufanya kambo hapa vile RC amezungumza, lakini tunasema hivi temporarily hawa watu ni wengi, na wengine wamelala kwa barabara, wengine wamelala classroom hapa. Kama kuna tents unazo, leta register hapa, hata kama ni yako private itatumika, utarudishiwa na incident management team, kuna logistic itapokea na itarudisha. Nashukuru county government ya Nairobi, national government zote ziko hapa. Na vile mnajua mambo ya disaster ni sisi wote, shared responsibility between national county government na pia wewe Mkenya. Usiangalie yule, hii ni wakati wa mkasa, ni wakati wa kusaidiana. Thank you.
Gari za kuzima moto zilifika hapa kama hazina maji.
Gari za kuzima moto zilifika na maji, kawaida gari haisi kuja bila maji. Hata mimi mwenyewe nilikuwa hapa, silikuwa gari ine kutoka county government ya Nairobi, na maji ilipokuwa ikiisha, ingawa zilichukua muda kuleta maji kwa sababu hakuna hapa hydrant, tunaelewa. Lakini gari kufika kwa time, sub county response, hata mwenyewe nilipigiwa simu mapema sana. The response was good. Only the challenge ile ilikuwa hapa, wananchi muelewe, hata mimi nilikuwa hapa na naeleza, hata mnaangalia ni routes, access, listen, access to reach those sources. So I'm appealing also to you people, if you want to develop the place, let us have the plans as by the county government plans, which the area MP has said they are in the plans of organizing. Pair with them to give a good plan. If you reconstruct in the same way, you realize that fire may start here, and we found fuel of different natures, chemicals. They are igniting the fire. As the fire is being put on somewhere here, it rushes first to burn what is chemical, then it continue burning others slowly. So it is important that we put order within the informal settlement so that we don't repeat similar incidents. Thank you.
Is the land public or private?
These people have been here since 60s. This Kijiji slum has been here since 60s and 70s. So I assume by being there since 60s and 70s, it is their land. Yes.
There have been some speculations that there was a foul play in the fire incident.
It is speculation. Investigation has not been done. I cannot tell about.
Right, that press conference was earlier on, and Andrew Cheng is still at Ngei Primary School and still reporting from the site of that fire in Kijiji. That's just opposite Southlands in Langata. We'll have more details at the top of the hour with Andrew Cheng. But first, we're also reporting about the intended swearing in of Raila Odinga and Kalonzo Musyoka as the People's President and Deputy President, respectively. And Seth Olale now joins us from Uhuru Park, the venue of the swearing-in ceremony tomorrow. That is not likely to happen. It's still controversial, but let's get a brief from Seth. Seth, what are you learning? Have you seen any officials from NASA? Are they preparing for the swearing-in ceremony tomorrow?
Thanks so much, Ken. No activities, business as usual here at the iconic Uhuru Park grounds. At least we've seen one police truck, but with only the driver inside. And so it's just business as usual here at Uhuru Park. We were expecting to see NASA officials, an advanced team at least, just to come here and try to see how things will be tomorrow during that event, what they're calling the presidential swearing in, that will also culminate with the convention of the national conventions of the People's Assembly. But as it stands, we haven't seen any official from NASA coalition, and we haven't also seen any heavy police deployment, because we expected this place to be cordoned off any time from now. But also it's interesting because traders are just going about the normal business, and we were able to ask some of them if they've seen any renovation works, because remember that on the 23rd of January, that was last week, the county government gave a public notice indicating that this particular venue will be out of bound for any political or any social gathering, except for what they say is businesses, small trade businesses, as well as normal family outing. But they won't allow any form of political rally or any form of social gathering to take place at this particular place. And so it's interesting to see also that just right behind me, there's no renovation works as well. But according to the Nairobi Police Commandant, who was Japheth Kome, in a press conference yesterday, also said that they're going to back up the county government and to ensure that this place remained out of bound, out of any political gathering. And so we'll just remain here and wait to see if we'll have any NASA official coming in to just try to, arrange or just plan over how things they intend to be tomorrow. And up to now, we haven't seen that, Ken.
Right, Seth, very interesting, and of course we understand from where you are that there are no major renovations, or there's no renovation that is going on at Uhuru Park. This was about 5 days ago. That brings in the other question. Have you seen the city officials on the ground, Seth?
At least we're able to see some rubbles just on the other side of the park. And according to one of the vendors, actually sausage and boiled eggs trader, who told us that this particular rubble, or these stones and concrete and sand, was brought here last month, April. And so up to then, they haven't seen any form of works happening. And curiously enough, they've told us that they were able to see a truck that is not registered on the county government, which has been collecting that sand and concrete and stone, but no formidable, like large-scale renovation we have able to see up to this particular point, and especially that which is affecting these particular dais where it's famous for political and social gatherings, leave alone the ground, now the ground on the other side, my left side, where you expect the members of the public to be gathering. So from where we are, we haven't seen any form of sizable works, renovation works, Ken.
Right, Seth, very comprehensive indeed. Thank you very much. We will be coming back to you at the top of the hour for yet another briefing, even as the day progresses. It's only a few hours left to the swearing-in ceremony of the People's President Raila Odinga and his deputy Kalonzo Musyoka. We'll definitely be getting a lot of details. We're following up that story for you later. We even expect a press conference from NASA as they wait for the swearing-in ceremony tomorrow. Remember, it's been outlawed, and the police say they will not allow anyone near the grounds. Whether it's the cultural day by the Nairobi business community or the swearing-in ceremony, none will happen tomorrow. They're avoiding a potential clash. Right, from Nairobi to Kisumu, one of the strongholds of NASA, where it's also anticipated that a lot of people will be watching the events at Uhuru Park, whether live or will be following it from any other quarters. And Namukabo Werunga is on the street to get a sense from the residents of Kisumu on the expectation. Good afternoon, Namukabo, and what is Kisumu saying about tomorrow?
Good afternoon to you, Ken. And here in Kisumu, a lot of people are anticipating that tomorrow will actually happen. Earlier on, we saw some people who were going around the street just asking everyone to come out and support the swearing-in of opposition leader Raila Odinga as the People's Assembly president. People who are donning regalia with the colors of NASA coalition, just going round and just singing NASA praise and saying that they are ready to have Raila Odinga as their president. But right now, I just want to speak to a few residents of Kisumu just to get their expectations and views of what they expect tomorrow during the scheduled swearing-in of Raila. And here I am with one of the residents here. Just start by telling us your name.
Well, my name's Walter Odede Okeo. Yeah.
Maybe what are your expectations tomorrow? What do you anticipate?
Now, this is obvious that the people are going to install Raila as the people's president. And what I expect it to be peaceful, as because it's a constitutional right of his supporters. Yeah.
Personally, what do you think this act will be beneficial to the people? What do you think this is going to do to you as the people of Kisumu, or maybe how is it going to raise your hopes?
I don't want to speak about the people of Kisumu. I want to speak about Kenyans. We are Kenyans, and what I'm seeing here, installing Raila Odinga as people's president, is a way of pushing for the democratic principles that he has been fighting for, and we have seen the fruits of his fighting for democracy. We have seen the fruits now here in Kisumu. We see the fruits of devolution. This is one of the things that he has helped to initiate, and it's benefiting the Kisumu people and Kenyans at large. Now.
All right. Thank you so much. I'll just try and speak to someone else. If you could just join me here, just start by telling me your name.
Kwa majina naitwa Roni Okot. Mimi ni mkaji wa Kisumu County.
Labda kwa kifupi tu, matarajio yako ni yapi kesho ambapo Raila Odinga atakuwa akiapishwa?
Mimi matarajio yangu ni kufurahia kwa sababu nimelala na furaha nikijua kesho Raila atakuwa kiongozi ya nchi ya People's Parliament. Na nilikuwa naomba County Commissioner wa Nairobi kesho ni kuingiza na wageni Nairobi, sio kuua. Umejua last time wakati tulikuwa tunaenda kukaribisha baba kutoka nje, askari wa Kenya walitumia nguvu nyingi sana. Na mimi naomba askari ya Kenya wa Kenya ni kulindwa, sio kuuliwa. Sasa ningeomba County Commissioner ya Nairobi arudi chini, alinde raia. Hiyo ndio maombi yangu.
Na labda ikiwa Raila Odinga ataapishwa kesho, unaona kuwa kuapishwa kwake kutakuwa na manufaa gani kwako mwenyewe na pia kwa Wakenya?
Kwa Wakenya naona kama tutaendelea, nchi itaenda mzuri, hii gharama yenye iko juu donors itakuja wingi. Ndio.
Thank you so much. Ken, this has been just a few people here in Kisumu telling us their expectation tomorrow. They're expecting that Raila will be sworn in as the people's president, and they say that they are hopeful that that action will bring the change that they want to see in this country. And maybe just to add on that, we have earlier on we went to the ODM offices here, and we know that there are people who are preparing to travel to Nairobi tomorrow. There are vehicles that are set to ferry people to Nairobi who will be witnessing that event tomorrow if and when it happens. Back to you, Ken.
All right, Namukabo, thank you very much. Indeed, it will be of national interest, and the swearing in is still disputed with the police and NASA sort of being in a standoff. None is going to budge. Let's see what happens. But it's a story we're following up for you. We'll follow it up later on with Seth Olale, who is at Uhuru Park, reporting earlier that no major repair works are currently going on, and he's only spotted a truck or policeman also there, but it was only the driver in the truck, and he says that it doesn't look as though NASA is even preparing the grounds for tomorrow's swearing-in ceremony. We'll get all the updates at the top of the hour. But first, we'll be talking business with Dan Mwangi, but just a recap of the stories we are following up for you. The CJ in court for 3 days, commissioning the court first in Kwale, the High Court, and secondly, he will be in Mombasa on Wednesday, but tomorrow he'll be in Taita Taveta for a similar exercise. We're also following that fire that gutted down most parts of Kijiji yesterday. And we have about 14,000 people who require your assistance this afternoon. We'll be telling you about that later. But time now to talk business, and Dan Mwangi is in studio. Dan?
Thank you very much, Ken, and we shall be speaking about the different things that are making sense and making sense of them in and around the country, and regarding South Africa, like I said before, as well as how it's related to Kenya. And we would like to begin with matters of water. And actually, no, let's begin with Nakumatt. And a High Court judge has declined to grant eviction orders requested by Nakumatt's landlords in a move that offers the ailing retailers some much-needed reprieve. The judge says that Nakumatt is under new administration, and therefore the administrator should be given some time to settle in and hopefully turn around the fortunes of the company. Last week, Peter Obondo Kahi was appointed as the administrator of Nakumatt after a section of the Insolvency Act was invoked. His key job will be to ensure that a meeting is held for all of the retailers' creditors and have their concerns addressed. The meeting is supposed to take place within the next 60 days. And that NACMAT conversation keeps going, and there's even a bigger conversation in terms of the retail sector. NACMAT will be meeting its creditors on Wednesday. That's the set date, and there's meant to be a meeting with NACMAT and Uchumi with the Kenyan Retail Association of Kenya in Mombasa on Tuesday. That's tomorrow. Wait to see how that pans out, because the Uchumi and Tanzania counterparts, Uchumi and NACMAT counterparts, I beg your pardon, in Tanzania have been feeling that they've been left out within all this restructuring, having a number of people being left jobless, and they want to know what the way forward is. We shall give you the updates when we get them and when these events happen. Now, moving on, Kenya should embrace recycling of water to avoid a crisis similar to Cape Town in South Africa, a city that is very likely to completely run out of water in April. This is according to David Gatende, the Chief Executive Officer of Water and Energy Solutions Company Davis and Shatleaf. According to Gatende, this is the likely outcome for Kenya in light of the drought situation alongside a growing population, both of which pose a threat to water supply, just as it has happened in Cape Town. Gatende says that Kenya is facing the prospect of chronic water shortages in the years to come, yet billions of liters of potable water are flushed down the toilet every year. The situation in the coastal region of Kenya is said to be posing a challenge as the increased drawing of water from wells and boreholes has caused infiltration by seawater into underground aquifers, turning well water saline. Industrialization Cabinet Secretary, that's Aidan Mohamed, has defended the construction of the NAIVASHA inland port, dismissing claims by some coast leaders that the facility will sabotage Mombasa's economy. Aidan says that the government is building the facility due to access to clean water, clean renewable energy, beg your pardon. This is expected to make NAIVASHA an industrial hub with an abundant supply of energy to industries.
We are planning to set up an industrial city in NAIVASHA, which is the home of all, the geothermal power plants here in Kenya. And so the motive of extending our railway from Nairobi to NAIVASHA is to link up to our future industrial city. There was no motivation, and will never be a motivation, to see how people are moving the port from Mombasa. There is no water in NAIVASHA to allow fish to come and dock, anything like that.
The African Union, through a closed session, has endorsed the progress on the continental free trade area that will allow for free movement of goods and services across the continent. African governments have taken a step closer to creating the world's largest trading area that will cover 1.2 billion people and have a combined GDP of $2.2 trillion US. Kenya is among the countries at the forefront of the initiative that would increase trade opportunities in a continent that is known for having low intra-trade figures. Among the challenges that Africa needs to confront to promote trade within its borders are the regulations governing its skies that continue to keep the aviation industry operating way below its potential. From Ethiopia, we now come back to Nairobi and International Center. I had you back to Ken Mijungu to take you through the rest of the bulletin. Ken.
Dan, that conversation around flushing clean water down the drain,
yes,
it's an important conversation, but have you ever thought about it? Like, we don't recycle the water. This is straight from a Nairobi Water Company to our reservoirs and to our toilets, and then we just flush the clean water down the toilet. Have you ever had a conversation with yourself about this?
Well, I hardly have conversations with myself, but generally speaking, Zainab Bondat is actually giving me some insight in the sense that we have some countries where they have the sink where you wash your hands being above a toilet cistern.
Okay.
So whenever you clean your hands, that water goes to the cistern, and that's what will be used to flush once you go to the loo. So that becomes one of the ways that, that means a change in infrastructure in terms of in houses, in hotels, in different facilities, in buildings such as this one. So you have such kind of points of, trying to be more innovative with the different facilities that you have. So like that example, you have the sink water, when instead of being drained down the drain and being disposed all together, it actually goes into the cistern which will be having the system for the toilet system, yes.
All right. There is a car wash along Langata Road that I have seen implement this. They have created it in such a way that the water that they use to wash the cars is actually recycled and goes back to the main tank, and it's used again to wash your car, and it's often very clean water. So they don't waste a lot of water, because the amount of water that they use to drain is the amount of water that goes to an underground tank and recycled again and pumped to the tank. Then it's used to wash another car. So probably that's an example that smart car washes, smart homes should start adopting.
And actually it's not a very new thing altogether in the country, because we have a number of hotels, especially the coast, that have been actually recycling water. So you find some of the water that's used, instead of disposing it all together, they have some different processes that happen sometimes underground. They've got different processes that eventually bring the water which has been sieved, when we use that word, to a good extent, that is now used for things like watering the lawn, for washing, some areas which may not be seen to be too sensitive in terms of like the rooms, but they'll have the general areas, you know, watering their lawns, their plants, or just having some washing of some things that may not be very sensitive to health.
Okay.
They actually have that water being used for that. So we see it's not entirely a new thing, just that it's been used largely in commercial spaces, but in the other domestic spaces especially, we don't have that. We use the very clean water which someone might, you know, pick a glass and drink. The same water that's been used in the bathrooms and the likes. Yeah.
All right, interesting conversation. I guess now that South Africa is already thinking about it, probably we'll see more smart homes. And nowadays, by the way, a lot of people build smart homes even right here in Nairobi. So that's a concept that they might just want to pick up. But thank you very much, Dan, with the business. All right. Now, to some story here. Nairobi Police Commandant, that's Japhet Koome, is blaming politicians for the upsurge in crime in the city. Koome claims that the youth gangs terrorizing you were shortchanged by politicians who brought them into the city with unfulfilled promises during the electioneering period. Seth Olale has the latest update on the security situation in the nation's capital.
As a disciplined officer from a disciplined service, we serve the government of the day.
The police are sounding a warning to anyone intending to gather to Uhuru Park on Tuesday, which is the day set by NASA for Raila Odinga's swearing in.
There is no formal notice to us, but we are hearing that so and so will have an event at Uhuru Park. Tell him, wherever he is, not to attempt coming to those, you know, with criminal intentions. Because I'll be there to ensure law and order is. I'll be there to ensure law is not, there is no breach.
All right, that's not the story we wanted to play for you, but we first had it last night, and Nairobi Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko has defended his move to remove hawkers and boda operators from the capital's central business district. Speaking during the service at Redeemed Gospel Church, Buruburu, Sonko maintained that the plan is to ensure the city remains clean and safe. The governor has been under immense pressure to act following an upsurge in muggings in the capital and the administrative center, which the police pointing fingers at increased number of hawkers, street families and boda operators within the CBD.
Kuna njia na tumeanza Mheshimiwa Deputy President kufanya, tumeanza kuengage hawkers, tumeonesha mahali ya kwenda, na intervention ya World Bank imetupatia already 1.2 billion. Tunajenga soko ya hawkers pale Mwariro, na tayari through serikali yenu wewe na Mheshimiwa Rais, kiwanja ile ya Kenya Railways pale Mudhurwa mmetupatia ekari 4. Pesa tuko nayo ya World Bank, tunajenga soko ingine pale Mariro. Hatusemi tunafukuza bodaboda. Tunasema juzi Nairobi imekuwa ranked number 3 kama tourist destination duniani. Tuko na hoteli za kitaifa Nairobi. Huwezi expect hoteli ya kitaifa mahali marais wanakuja kulala kama Hilton ama Intercontinental unapata hoka 50 hapo nje. Tunaomba wakazi wetu, tunawaheshimu, wao wanaingia railways, wanashukisha wananchi. Wananchi wengi wanafanya kazi CBD. From railways to CBD, it is a walking distance. Mtu anaweza tembea kwenda kwa ofisi, akitoka ofisi arudi railway, apande bodaboda, aende nyumbani. Kwa sababu wananchi lazima tusaidiane.
All right, now the government says, through the police, say that they will not allow anyone to participate in tomorrow's event or to cause chaos within the CBD. Let's take a look at the story.
Kome argues that politicians are to blame for the recent influx of youth gangs in the city as a result of political mobilization during last year's campaigns. The Nairobi Police Commandant also says that the current hardship conditions being faced by both residents and businessmen in the capital could be the catalyst for criminal activities.
We would not like to, in any way, to be on the defensive, because we would like to encourage that conversation. We would like to encourage members of the public to keep talking to us, social media, mainstream media. That conversation is welcome. As I've stated, we have a responsibility to ensure the city is safe, secure, calm, and there is tranquility.
Kome says January usually witnesses high number of reported criminal activities in the city and that the recent upsurge in crime is not unusual.
Every January we have a challenge, especially now when we have from that 5 years cycle of elections, as I've stated from the campaign period. Every January we have a challenge. But we have strategies on how to address that one. Officers patrolling the streets. We have enhanced patrols, both undercover, uniformed officers. Let us not lose more lives. Let those youths, as I've stated, learn.
Since December, over 30 youth have been killed by police officers attached to different units in connection with criminal activities in Nairobi's Central Business District. While denying claims of police laxity in restoring safety in the capital city, Nairobi Police Commandant Japhet Kome said that 3 youth aged between 20 and 25 years were gunned down Saturday night during a multi-agency security operation involving officers from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, National Police Service and Administration Police.
So we have many strategies in place, but allow me not to go into the details of the strategies we have in place. But many strategies on now to ensure everybody is safe. Many foreigners who are in this city are safe and secure.
Kome says there is no need for security range.
All right, that was actually the story where the police are blaming the politicians for using the youth during the campaigns and leaving them without any jobs or resources, so they've opted to the kind of activity we see in the capital, the muggings, the robbery with violence. So they are basically blaming the politicians for using the youth and dumping them in the capital. The Kenya Union of Post-Primary Teachers, that is KUPPET, today announced that officials elected as state officers will continue serving the union on part-time basis. Making the announcement, the Union Secretary General Akelo Misori announced that the officials will not quit working for the union. Misori's remarks are coming a few days after the Teachers Service Commission, TSC, sacked KUPPET's chairman Omboko Milemba and Ronald Tunoi after they were elected in political positions in the August 8th general election. Milemba was elected Emuhaya Member of Parliament, while Tunoi was elected Bomet Central Member of Parliament. TSC also sent home NAT Secretary General Wilson Sosion after he was nominated for a parliamentary seat. Sosion, Milemba and Tunoi were removed from TSC payroll, with TSC asserting that they cannot serve as union officials while still holding political positions. KUPPET has differed with the position taken by TSC, saying the law still allows the officials in question to continue serving, but will with fewer responsibilities.
Honorable Jeremiah Omboko Milemba, the National Chairman, Honorable Ronald Tunui, the National Assistant Treasurer, Honorable Catherine Wambilianga, the National Secretary Gender, will serve the union on part-time basis with immediate effect. And that the functions of the said officers which require full-time engagement shall be performed by the union officials already delegated according to the union constitution. That of paramount importance is the function of the national chairperson as the leader of the union delegation, which shall be forthwith performed by the national vice chairman, Mr. Korir.
And Bungoma residents have decided to use food as an agent for reconciliation between the people and the police in the wake of violence that flared up during the repeat presidential election last year. And as Gabriel Kudaka reports, the food is also used to bridge the political divide.
October last year, these were some of the scenes witnessed along Bungoma Mumias Road. Angry youth engaging anti-riot police in running battles to prevent IEBC officials from conducting a repeat presidential election. The aftermath, 3 people were left dead and several others injured. The violence bred animosity between security officials and members of the public.
Ilikuwa vigumu kupata duka moja imefunguliwa. Ukichelewa kununua chakula yako saa 4 asubuhi, ikifika saa 10 wewe utalala njaa. Si ilikuwa hivyo? Ilikuwa vigumu vile vile kusafiri kupita hiyo Mumias Road, section hiyo ya town hapa, kwa sababu ya watu wale nilitaja.
Nishuhudia kwamba kazi ile tulifanya kama security officers katika Kenya mzima, tulikuwa na kazi ngumu.
The political standoff also led to hatred between members of society affiliated to different political parties.
Food is the easiest way to bring communities together, whether learned or not learned. People are able to talk to one another, introduce themselves, create relationships among themselves. Different communities have had mistrust during, before and during election.
The unorthodox approach seems to have borrowed from the age-old saying, "A hungry man is an angry man." In his book, Things Fall Apart, the late novelist, Professor Chinua Achebe says, "A man who calls his kinsmen to a feast does not do so to save them from starving. They all have enough food in their own homes. They come together because it's humanly and morally acceptable to dine and have fun together." End of quote. Traditional delicacies from 17 different communities were served to those who were in attendance.
Tunapokula na polisi pamoja, inamaanisha polisi pia wakuje wasikize wananchi vile wanataka, ili waweze kuongea pamoja ili wapate suluhisho. Lakini saa zingine unajua polisi wanaingia kwa lazima ili kutawanyisha wananchi na hawaelewi ni nini inaendelea.
Inataka kukua pamoja, inatoka kwa roho ya mtu, haitoki kwa chakula. So inataka tukikula pamoja itoke kwa roho yako, kweli inamaanisha tuko pamoja kama wananchi.
Several such initiatives will be held in other counties that witnessed violence before, during and after last year's general election. Gabriel Kudaka, NTV.
And on that positive note, we end this first and second hour of NTV Today. Thank you very much for watching. At the top of the hour, that's about 6 minutes from now, we'll have all the updates for you. We'll be speaking to live to Seth Olale from the Uhuru Park, the venue of tomorrow's intended swearing in by NASA. And we'll also try and get Andrew Ching to speak to us from Gay Primary School, where the victims, those affected by the fire yesterday in Kijiji, that's in Langata, are currently being held, even as they appeal for even more donations. Stay with us. We'll be back in about 5 minutes with all the news updates for you. Right, a very good afternoon. Good to see you again, and thank you for staying with us. My name is Ken Mijungu. We have a quick news update for you at this hour. 4 people have been confirmed dead after the deadly fire that broke out at the Kijiji slums in Langata. The bodies of the deceased are yet to be moved as forensic experts conclude investigations. More than 6,000 households were burnt to the ground on an 8-acre parcel of land, leaving more than 13,000 people homeless. They are camping at the Ngei Primary School, where children have been given donations of food and clothing, and authorities are still asking for more donation of water, tents, and any material that could be of help. And earlier on, leaders from the county and from the National Disaster Management Unit called for calm, saying they will investigate to find out the cause of the fire. They also said that the death toll could rise as search and recovery operations continue in the rubble of the slum.
The fire is off now. The fire fighting equipment, wananchi themselves were able to put out the fire at about 2 p.m. So during this incident, we have confirmed that 4 people lost their lives. As at now, 4 people have lost their lives. The search to find out if there are other bodies in the rubble, then we'll communicate to you. But we were able to evacuate everyone, almost all the people, before the settlement was engulfed in fire. It was very, very difficult to put off the fire because of the nature of the settlement. There were no access roads around the entire place. This informal settlement carries about 9,000 households.
Elsewhere, the opposition National Super Alliance, that's NASA, has maintained it will continue with its plans to swear in Raila Odinga and Kalonzo Musyoka at Uhuru Park on Tuesday, that's tomorrow. This even as the Nairobi County Police Boss, Japhet Koome, insists that the opposition should keep off the venue. We are now joined live by Seth Olale, who is at Uhuru Park. Good afternoon, Seth. Good to see you once again. Tell us.
Good afternoon.
The last time you talked to us, you told us there is no activity at Uhuru Park, and NASA doesn't even look like they're preparing for the swearing in tomorrow, although they insist they are.
Well, thank you so much, Ken. Good afternoon. On a normal day or a normal occasion, you would expect a lot of activity here, especially at the Uhuru Park main dais, where it's usually decorated, and also we usually have chairs being brought to this particular place just for logistical purposes, but that has not happened. We haven't seen NASA's protocol or advance team yet to set foot here at Uhuru Park, which is expected to host that swearing-in ceremony according to NASA. Talk about security. We've seen just one police truck with the driver inside. We haven't seen any heavy police deployment yet. And right now, I just want to bring on Mr. Benjamin Gakuru, who is the National Organizing Coordinator for the New Democrats Party. What do we expect 24 hours from now? There's seemingly no activity yet here at Uhuru Park.
Yeah, well, I cannot see anything in Uhuru Park, whereby I heard that Governor Mike Songo saying that there will be a lot of activity here. But I think this is not good, because I can't see any material for any renovation for the field.
So from your point of view, there's no renovation works at this particular place, despite a notice being given by the county government that this place will be sealed off for renovation works. You haven't spotted any, meaning that NASA is justified for tomorrow's event.
Well, I don't know, because also NASA, I have not seen any decoration in there. Even they have not brought even the sheet, the chairs. So it means that maybe tomorrow there will be no activity here, because as you can see, even the ground itself is so much dirty, and I think maybe tomorrow there will be no event.
Just in case NASA followers flock into this particular place, do you think there will be confrontation with police officers?
Maybe according to the Nairobi commander, Kome, said that the Uhuru Park it will be no goes on tomorrow. So I think maybe there will be a lot of chaos. But what I can say that I can tell the government for Uhuru is that let them give Raila opportunity for him to swear in the way he wants to swear in, because as much as I know that the president-elect was sworn in and he was declared by the chairman Chebukati of IBC, and he was sworn in at the Kasarani. So I think he wants to please his people.
Okay. Thank you so much, Benjamin Gakuru, who's the National Organizing Secretary for the New Democrats Party. But very quickly, I want to talk to a group of youth who've been standing over here, and this group of youth say they will attend tomorrow's swearing-in ceremony if it will happen. And let me just bring over Mr. Rogers of the Bunge la Mwananchi National Coordinator. Rogers, just step down over here and just tell us about you've assembled here with a group of youth behind you, and you are keen on attending NASA's swearing-in tomorrow.
Yes, why not? We have to. We have to attend tomorrow, swearing-in, because it's something planned from early. Yeah, we have to attend.
The police commandant was so clear that they won't allow any political gathering over this place. Are you still defiant?
Nataka kuambia Mheshimiwa Kome hivi, aache vitisho za supu baridi. Ni lazima kesho tuhudhurie event. It doesn't matter viti zimeletwe ama hazijaletwe. So ni lazima kesho tuhudhurie. Na lazima tufike hapo. Kwa hivyo ajitayarishe. Aache hizo vitisho zake za kutuambia ati tusijaribu kuhudhuria hapa. Ni lazima kesho tufike hapa jinsi ilivyopangwa. Ni lazima Raila na Kalonzo waapishwe kesho. Yes.
An ardent NASA follower over there saying that they have come early just to book their seats, if you like, and they're saying they will come tomorrow for NASA's scheduled swearing-in, come what may. And it remains to be seen what showdown we're expecting tomorrow. But as it stands, we haven't seen any preparations for this particular event yet, and we haven't seen heavy police deployment at Uhuru Park. Ken.
Right, Seth, and definitely NTV will be there to cover all these events for you. Thank you very much, Seth Olale. Moving on to other stories also making headlines. Local leaders from the Kuria community that's in Migori County now say that former Coast Regional Commissioner Nelson Marwa deserved a bigger position than that of Principal Secretary post he was given by President Kenyatta last Friday. If approved by Parliament, Marwa will be one of the accounting officers in the Ministry of Devolution, to be headed by Eugene Wamalwa as the Cabinet Secretary, as Enoch Sikolia now reports.
When President Uhuru Kenyatta announced the list of men and women who will help him steer his 2018-2022 agenda, the name of a tough-talking Nelson Marwa popped up. Marwa, who has had endless battles with Mombasa County Governor Ali Hassan Joho, may not escape rubbing shoulders with county bosses, although this time round at the national level. The president has picked him as the principal secretary in the Ministry of Devolution. But in his backyard of Kuria, his kinsmen were not so happy.
We have never got independent for that. PS is not enough. We need more. We're expecting actually, for what Mara has done for this country, Mara should be a CS, not a PS.
The locals believe Marwa has sacrificed a lot for the country, and he deserves to be awarded in a better way.
Anyone who is saying combo we are appreciating, we're not appreciating yet to the government of Jubilee.
However, others feel that the nomination of Marwa as PS is a blessing to the Kuria community that for a long time had been neglected.
Hii ndio safari yetu ya kwanza sisi wa Kuria, na especially mahali ambapo mheshimiwa Nelson Marwa anatoka hapa Ntimaru. Tuko na furaha kubwa kwamba sasa yeye ni PS na PS ni mtu mkubwa sana katika serikali yetu ya Kenya.
They expressed hope that the nomination of Nelson Marwa to the post of a principal secretary in the Ministry of Devolution and Planning will fasten the realization of having their own county. Enoch Sikolia, NTV.
The constitution, or the construction rather, of the wall separating Kenya and Somalia is on course, according to the Eastern Region Commissioner Mohammed Saleh, speaking in Mandera town after inspecting the 8 kilometers of the complete section that starts at the border point 1 in Mandera. Saleh maintained that the wall will stop terror attacks, as Enoch Sikolia once again reports.
This wall of concrete and wire mesh coming up along the Kenya-Somalia border is expected to keep at bay bombers and gunmen from the Somalia-based Al-Shabaab terror group. Already an 8-kilometer stretch along the Mandera border point, the initial concrete security wall was redesigned because of the huge financial implication. The Northeastern Regional Commissioner says the construction job will be carried out in phases all the way to Kiunga in Lamu County.
It's a solo project, but Kenya will continue to secure its borders with Somalia.
Saleh says the separation wall will only stop bombers from crossing into Kenya, and the Kenyan government has no issue with Somalia citizens accessing the country for business.
They will come through documentation. The era of where they used to come in and get out the way they want is no longer there. Anybody coming to Kenya now must come in using passports or other documents.
Despite recent terror threats in the northeastern region, Saleh says security agencies led by the Kenya Defense Forces have managed to thwart many of them.
We are being told by the people of Mandera that there is no more attack in Mandera town. This work will continue.
It is estimated that the wall will cover over 400 kilometers after completion and will have designated immigration and custom entry points. Enoch Sikolia, NTV.
The 30th African Union Summit kicked off in Addis Ababa on Sunday with calls for continental free trade area and a focus on reforming the organization.
Leaders also signaled the urgency to combat militant attacks that have become a major threat to peace, security and development. The summit deliberated on AU institutional reforms, the state of peace.
Soweto gathered on Sunday for a memorial event paying tribute to the father of South Africa jazz, Hugh Masekela, who died from prostate cancer last week at the age of 78.
Paying homage to a man they all adore.
on plastic bottles by the National Environmental Management Authority, that's NEMA, will heavily cripple their only source of revenue. The group, which has been collecting and selling used bottles, is urging the environmental watchdog to review its decision on banning plastic bottles, as Seth Olale reports.
Isaac Karim alias Kados, a garbage collector in Ongata, is among youth who fear that they will be rendered jobless should NEMA go ahead and ban the usage of plastic bottles in the country.
Easily best. Tuko more than 50. Tuko wengi sana.
Karimi is a leader of this group of street boys who have been trading in the business of collecting and selling used plastic bottles for close to 10 years. But unlike his peers, Karimi, who is a father of 3, plans to expand this business despite NEMA's threat to ban his money-making valuable commodity.
Uhuru Kenyatta aweze kubarikia watoto na awe anajua ajue hata ma street boy ama masokora wanaweza kuwa na familia na wachechi na watengeneze boma.
We feel the damage on the environment is still continuing. So we are saying NEMA is in the process of doing another gazette notice to ban plastic bottles.
Tukishirikiana na serikali kuu tunaweza kubadilisha miendo za vijana. Tutakuwa na zile counseling, tutakuwa na ile trainings ambao tunaweza saidia vijana, life skills trainings.
NEMA has issued April 30th deadline for all companies dealing with production and distribution of plastic bottles to use alternative means.
Yeah, mchabue mlete pesa.
Seth Olale, NTV.
And despite what some will call hard or harsh economic times, one man from Kilifi County is not letting that get in the way of him making a livelihood for his family. Fikirini Katana has embarked on not so popular business of making and selling flower pots in the area, and it's slowly paying off.
Sand, coral chips, cement, ballast and water are all that 28-year-old Fikirini Katana needs to make the flower pots, a procedure that is mastered for the last 3 years while making tens of the containers. In making the pots, metal mouths are used as housings to give the containers the desired shape according to a customer's preference. On this day, final touches are being made for flower pots worth 80,000 shillings.
Niko na kijana ambaye ni fundi wa kuchomelea ambaye ndiye anatengeneza hizo molds. Ambao material yake pia iko heavy, unaweza panda huo mti ukakua vizuri na bila hata pote hajapasuka kwa sababu material tunayotumia ni quality kwa sababu kuna chuma ndani.
It is a tiresome business but rewarding in the end. For example, it takes about a week to mold a big pot and 2 more days for it to be ready for sale. Katana has so far employed 6 youth, quite an achievement for someone who dropped out of secondary school in Form 1.
Wanapeleka watoto shuleni, mimi nami pia nimenunua ploti zangu 2 na nimejenga na niko na watoto wangu na wanasoma.
Katana says when he started out, not many people in Kilifi embraced the business or its benefits, but now that is changing. Peter Mongangi, NTV.
Right, time now to play, and Warothi Kiro is in studio. Warothi?
Thank you, Ken, and yes, good afternoon. It's time for sports. I'm Warothi Kiro. The semi-finals of the lineup of the ongoing African Nations Championship CHAN 2018 is complete, with Nigeria and Libya booking the final 2 slots. Nigeria did an injury time goal and another in extra time as they came from behind to beat Angola.
the sports. And on that sports note, we end NTV Today. Thank you very much for watching. NTV Sasa is on air shortly. Sidan Mule is already in studio, so stay with us and you get all that. Plus an update from Seth and probably Andrew. Good afternoon.